Okay, so here I am just showing you guys the 7 rows. So I'm almost done with the 7th row here, and I'm just slip stitching to that first double crochet, chaining 1 and turning my work. So as I said before, this is going to be the increase row here. So row 8 and row 9 are going to be increase rows. So the way we are going to increase, for me personally, I double crocheted into the first 7 stitches, okay, and then on the 8th stitch I added 2 double crochets into that stitch. So technically what you're going to want to do is double crochet into 7 stitches, add 2 double crochets into the 8th stitch, and then double crochet 1 in each stitch for the next 7 stitches, and then add 2 double crochets into the 8th stitch. Okay, so that's what you just want to go ahead and keep doing for row 8. Okay, and for me that gave me a total of 94 stitches. So we went from 84 to 94. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing for row 9. Okay, so you're going to go about it the same exact way. 1 double crochet into the first 7 stitches, and then 2 double crochets into the 8th, and repeat that all the way to the end. And for row number 9, I did have a total of 104 stitches. Okay, so that's what you want to do. You want to increase, honestly, you want to increase as many times as you feel you need to. For myself, I only needed to increase twice, so 2 rows here already. So yeah, I just did that. So once you do row 8 and row 9, your increases for the next 14 rows, just did regular double crochets in each stitch. Okay, so you're only increasing for row 8 and row 9, then every other stitch for the next 14 rows, go ahead and do just 1 double crochet into each stitch. So once you've gotten done with your 14 rows, okay, you should pretty much be ending the skein of yarn that you started off with. Okay, especially if you're making the same size as I am, you should be finishing up with your first ball of yarn. So at this point here, after you're done with those 14 rows, on the next row we're actually going to start decreasing. Okay, so in order to decrease, you're going to start it off the same exact way, chain 1 and turn, and then we are still working with the rule of 8 or the number 8, so 888. And you're going to double crochet into the first 7 double crochets, okay, like normal, and then on the 8th double crochet, that's when you're going to decrease. So for the decreasing, I'm actually just going to be showing you guys how I do that here. All I do is go into the 8th stitch, okay, and then I go directly into the 9th stitch where I have 4 loops on my hook. Then I pull through 3 loops, and then the remaining 2 I pull through those. So I'm going to show you guys that again in a slow-mo, just so you guys see how I do my decreases in every 8th stitch. once you finished up with that row with the decreases, since I was at 104, you should be back down to 94 stitches. Okay, so at this point here, I just finished up that row, and then I am just doing from here 6 rows of just regular double crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so this is the first row here that I am working on. Okay, well, that I actually just finished up here. So now you want to go ahead and continue just a regular double crochet into each row, into each stitch for another 5 rows. Okay, for a total of 6. So just keep going with 1 regular double crochet into each stitch for your total of your 6 rows, and I'll meet you guys back here to where we do our last decrease, okay, to equal back out to the number that we started off with, which was the 84 for my measurement here. Okay, so yeah, that's what you want to go ahead and do. 5 rows of regular double crochet in each stitch, and then at the 6th row, I'll come back and show you guys how I did the decrease, which was pretty much what I just showed you guys the last decrease, but I'll show it again. Okay, so here I am back again, and I'm just finishing up that 6th row here. Okay, and again, it's the same method. You slip stitch to the first one, chain 1, and turn your work. Okay, so now we are going to do that last decrease, and the last decrease again is going into the 8th stitch. Okay, so we're just gonna do 1 regular double crochet into the first 7 stitches, and then we are going to decrease into the 8th stitch the same way that I showed you guys prior. Okay, so you want to do that decrease all the way for this round here. Okay, and then once you get done with that last decrease, what you're going to do is for the next 10 rows, okay, for the next 10 rows, all you're going to do is just 1 regular double crochet into each stitch around for the next 10 rows. Okay, so again, you just want to go ahead after this row here with the decreasing. For the next 10 rows, you just want to keep going with just a regular double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Okay, and I'll see you guys after those 10 rows. After those 10 rows, we're going to start on the flare sort of portion of the skirt with this design here. So here I'm just showing you guys on the initial Venus Empress skirt where we are at right now, and then where the 10 rows will take you, which will get us right to the design, okay, of the skirt that we will be working with. And for that portion there, we will be switching to the next color, which in my case is the royal color there. Okay, and that I will come back and show you guys how to do that stitching and that pattern. Okay, so I'll see you guys after your 10 rows. So here I am just finishing up my 10th row here, okay, just so you guys can see that. And this is the length for what we've got so far with the skirt. Now I'm going to be switching colors, and we're going to be working on this design portion here. Again, this pink version on the first Venus Empress, I'm going to be doing in the royal color on this skirt that I'm working on now. Okay, so once I switch the color, Again, you want to chain one, you know, like you've been doing, and then turn your work. Okay, and once you turn your work, what we're going to be doing is double crocheting, just regular double crochet into the first 3 double crochets from the previous row. Okay, so the first 3 stitches, you're just going to do a regular double crochet, and then for the 4th stitch, okay, now we're just working in a sequence of 4s. So in the 4th stitch, what you want to do is actually treble crochet, okay, which is just 1 up from a double crochet. So all you want to do, it's pretty much a treble crochet V-stitch, if you want to think of it in that way. So what a regular V-stitch is just a double crochet into the space, chain 1, and then another double crochet into that same space. Oh, sorry about that. So for this one here, what you're going to want to do is wrap your yarn around the hook twice instead of 1 time like you regularly would with a double crochet. You're going to wrap it around twice, then go into that 4th stitch, do the treble crochet, then chain 1, and then do another treble crochet immediately into that same stitch. Okay, so it raises up that that 4th stitch for you, so it's a bit more noticeable and more prompt. So that's how you guys are able to see it, you know, giving that textured look, and the other Venus Empress in the background there. So that's really all I did. It's honestly a simple stitch, but you know, just the way that I worked it, you know, flip it and reversed it. No, let me stop. Okay, so the way that I did it is what is giving it that textured type of look. It looks complicated, but it's honestly really simple to do. So yeah, again, all you want to do there is double crochet into the 3 stitches, the next 3 stitches, and then you want to treble crochet into the 4th stitch, chain 1, and add another treble into that 4th stitch. And you're just going to repeat that all the way to the end. Okay, keep doing that all the way to the end, and I am going to show you guys a slow-mo as well so you guys can see that. And then once you get to the end, on the 2nd row of that, from now on until the end of the project, is going to be a little bit different because you are going to have to skip some stitches there. So I'll show you guys that once I do get to that 2nd row, just so you guys can know what I'm talking about. But yeah, go ahead and finish this 1st row, and I'll meet you guys on row number 2 to show you how the remainder of the project will be. Also, just a heads up that for this portion here where we did switch the color, I just wanted to show you guys on the original Venus Empress how many rows it is that we will be completing in this color change here. So here is Venus Empress, and you do have that's what that treble crochet is looking like on there. But for this color change portion, it will be a total of 21 rows. Okay, it will be a total of 21 rows for this first color change portion, and then when you change it for back to the original color for that last bottom section, that is going to be a total of 7 rows there. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that. And so yeah, this is the project. So go ahead and finish up this row here that we're currently working on. Okay, and then once you guys get done with that, I will come back and show you what's going to be a little different from the 2nd row here on out till we get to the end. Okay, so I'll meet you guys back after I finish up with this row. Okay, so here I am coming up on the last couple of stitches to be done with this row here. As you guys can see, okay, so we're almost there. And then again, I'm going to do the same thing, which is to slip stitch into that first stitch. Okay, chain up one and turn my work. And that last stitch for me did end up being a treble there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch, chain up one and turn my work. And here I was just counting out how many V stitches I had. I honestly can't remember how many it was, but hopefully you guys can see it on the video just because I don't have my notes here with me. But yeah, so once you do this row here, okay, and you chain up one and turn your work, now we're going to, since that treble crochet is right there at the start, what we're going to do is treble crochet again into that chain one space. Okay, so instead of going into the actual double crochet itself, we're just going into that actual space between the two trebles where that chain one is. Okay, and then from there you're going to skip that previous treble stitch from the first row. Okay, so ultimately what you're doing is adding the treble V stitch into the chain one space, and then you're going to skip the actual treble stitch and then do the regular double crochet into the next 3 double crochets from the previous row. Okay, so I hope that makes sense from what you guys are seeing here. So ultimately you're just doing the treble, chain one and treble all into the chain one space from the previous row, and then adding the double crochets into the double crochets from the previous row. Okay, so yeah guys, at this point my storage did run out on my phone, so I'm glad I was able to at least get this out to you guys, but don't forget to share this to someone else so that they can learn the technique as well, or even learn to crochet, because you know we definitely gotta get more people into the fiber community. Okay, sustainable fashion is the new wave. But yeah guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment down below what's your favorite aspect of this Venus Empress, and I will link all my social medias below for you guys as well. As always, thanks so much for watching, and lots of love.